welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and I recently did a few sort of little mini off the canvas projects, and part of that involves a load of diamonds left over. So these all need to go away into my special diamonds storage box, but there's a few things I need to sort of do to prepare for that. So in my special diamonds, as well as like this pile of little pots of diamonds that were originally in my scrapbooking stuff, I just have them sorted by colour, so pink, red, black, etc. That's just how I store them. I've got my nice new little labels that my daughter lovingly made for me, so these go across the top of my cards now. So that tells me that the first one is the purple, but to of course pop them away by colour, I first need to sort them by colour, because otherwise I'm just reopening bags all the time. So we've got some red. That does, goldy colour does go into yellow. That's got even more bags in, so I'll sort that in a minute. So we've got gold, blue, silver. That I'd probably class as red. That's orange, blue, blue, red, and so on. So that's like yellow, gold. That's pink, yellow, black. So it's basically just, and that's a purple. Not got a purple pile yet. It's just a matter of sorting them into colours, so that I can then move through each colour, getting them away. That's probably a little bit more orangey. That's silver. Can get a little bit tricky when it gets to some of them, because it really does depend on how the light shines. Let me get rid of all these loose bags first. Now the brown I have sort of put in with the orange, if I remember rightly. They don't particularly have a separate colour, and I can always split them up again a bit more, but for me, I didn't want too many colours when it came to special diamonds, because frankly it's confusing enough as it is, and if I start splitting all of these up as well, we're going to be there for an eternity. Okay, so this is of course just been pulled out. This was one project, so that was actually a clock, and this was also one project. This was actually my passport holder, which is still here. So this is my most recently made passport holder. I just pop all the bits back into the original packaging. So we've got some blues, reds, I've got loads of blues. Trying to work out, I think that's probably a bit more silver. Okay, so getting rid of that, that is now all sorted by colour. So we'll start, I'm just going to pull my box over. We'll start with, oh, if I don't lose my little card. Okay, so we're going to start with the purple. Because we have pretty much every colour in here, we'll just go through the box. I'll go through the box in order. But I tend to have a bag that holds all the different shapes. And then I tend to have one or maybe two bags that have the shading. And I try and group the shading together as best as I can. So yeah, so we've basically got a bag that's lighter purple and a bag that's darker purple. Even though these are two different, I will still put these together. Only because I really don't want too many bags in these sections. I would much rather fill them up. I do want to be putting little bits of card in them though, and I have got some pre-cut, because I've been doing a reorganise with my new little labels. So I'm just going to go and grab those pieces of paper, and because I'm putting all these specials away, I can get all my specials fully tidied up as well, so that they've all got the bits of paper in and they're all ready to go. So I've got my little pre-cut pieces of paper. These are just cut smaller than the bags that I have. I think they're 1.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And many of these bags that these diamonds in are the same bags that I use in my spare storage. If they come from a seller where you have to, you know, cut the bag to get in it, then I just I'll tip the rest into one of these bags, but I'm constantly reusing these bags. So these will go back into my little stash of bags for either this project, or if of course when I'm filling up, when I'm de-kitting, that's the word, when I'm de-kitting, if I need a bag for another DMC colour, then I use these, and they're all the same size. This bag of course came with the actual painting itself. It's still actually got the little symbol on it that they use. Those bags I don't keep, so I do need one of my little tubs for rubbish, which I'll just put at the back for now. But that's all the purples, so I'm trying to keep it darker purple, lighter purple, and then all the other shapes. If for any reason I ever need any of these or ever need them to match them up, I'm likely to tip them out into a tray anyway. Some of the colours do have more of a selection than others, especially the likes of blue and pink. So pink, for example, has 3. I have a pale pink, and then I have a couple of different types. One's more of a cerise pink and one's more of a hot pink. These ones happen to all have their bags, but we only have 2 for this. So that closely matches with that, and so does that actually. So when I hold them up against this bag, there's other ones of a similar, whereas this one, not so much. So that makes it easy. These are just going to tip in with the rest of them, and I'm just going to put them all together. If you prefer to keep them separate unless they are an exact match, of course do that. I find that there is less leftovers when it comes to specials, and the shading can vary by so much that if I did that, I found I just had too many bags all stored together. And of course the bags slip and slide around a lot more than they do when of course you've got more in them. So that's that. For red, I quite simply have 2. So for this, that is an alternative shape. Okay, so they're all alternative shapes, and these are red. Because when you start going off on different shades of red, you tend to sway more towards pink anyway, or brown. You know, it might have a hint of red in it, but you tend to sway to it actually being a different colour. So red is quite simple. I have small and I have special. Every now and then I just like to make sure that the piece of card placed in it does go across the back. It helps me to squash the air out and keep it upright. And for this one, I have got quite a few more. I've got quite a lot of blues. I say, I did do quite a few projects. But they're all just going to go together. Any bag that was my original bag, of course, I am going to keep, and I will put them back in with my other bags and reuse them. But this should sort out my specials box, hopefully, and make it all nice. I'm sure I will end up with duplicate bags soon enough when they all fill up. But it's actually easier to de-kit the specials in bulk. So it's a good job normally when I do specials, I tend to do a few at once. It's like I've got a little bug for it. Okay, black. Now black, I tend to have 2. There's either the ones that come in a special kit that don't have the foil back or the ones that do. These you could potentially say are 310s, and they pretty much are. But because I tend to de-kit special paintings sort of all at once, I tend to just keep it split this way. So in a way I've really got another set of 310s, albeit a lot smaller. But it means that when I'm de-kitting my specials, I'm only ever really going into one box. Okay, so that was black. Silver, I have 3. So I have one that is more of a grey than a silver. I have, of course, the ever popular silver, and then I have different sizes or shapes. So that's a true silver. They're all different shapes, and that's a true silver. So we don't have any grey in this one. We do, of course, have a lot more silver because many paintings use silver. So I think this one is always going to, this is probably one of the first ones that's going to go into a second bag, I think. And I will show you the other diamonds that I tend to keep in with my specials as well when I get to the colours. That is a little bit different. Okay, so that one's already done. So now we've got to empty all of these. Sometimes I think it'd be easier to empty them into a tray and then the bag. However, when they're different shapes, sometimes they can get stuck in the tray, and I don't want to fight with that. So we'll just get them tipped straight in here. There's more, Captain. There's more. That bag's been used a few times. It's getting a bit bashed. But because I'm currently sorting out and labelling up and making pretty all my spare storage boxes, and I'm doing every step, you know, I'm making them how I really want them all the way through. I'm currently finding a load more spare bags as well, where I used to kit them up, used to not mix them together, and now I do. Okay, so that's the silver. Okay, now this is probably, as I've said, my biggest category. So this is blue. I'm just going to move yellow over because I'm actually feeling like it's getting a little bit squashed. These little tubs I will probably mix in at some point. But the difference is, in blues, I do have ABs that have come from kits. So for those, I do label them up as the companies do. So really, those 3 don't count as far as specials. Apart from that, it's very hard. So I actually have 3 that all came from one painting, but I've actually got 3 sizes of the same colour. So I've actually got 3 sizes of that blue and 3 sizes of that one, and I think it's 3, yeah, and 3 sizes of that one. And because they match so perfectly, even though they were different sizes, I kept them together. I've then got my different size shapes. I've then got ones that are sort of got that sort of AB coating, but more of a pearlized coating, I think. So these are more pearly and they're sort of AB-ish. Got a bit of a pearly coating. And then I just have 2 types of blues. So it's one of those, you sort of have to play a little bit by ear on them. I have been starting with the likes of the turquoisey blue. Let me just move my greens out of the way. With the likes of these ones that were all the same, I have sort of mixed in the turquoisey blue with these ones a bit more now. They're special. They're more the lighter blue. That one again, it's a different size, but it's the same as that blue. Then I've got a paler blue. That's probably similar to that one. That's similar to that one. But blues are so tricky. They really are. But I think I'm just getting to the point where I have to start mixing them up a bit. That's a pearlised blue. Very pale. And I just sort of line them up until I find sort of where it matches, and it's like, okay, that matches there best, and that's how I go. It sort of just has to be what works. So let me get the ABs back in, and I think for this one I've got so many, let's just get the ones away that I can and get them put away. You just need to do what works for you in regards to special shapes and things like that. I could potentially look at combining some of these blues, maybe. But at the moment, I feel like each individual category in these blues is actually getting quite full in itself. But it's the only real colour that I struggle with is the blues. It's always the blues. Okay, this pearlised one, which is more of a grey than a blue, I don't have any more of, so let's get that one out of the way. But then this one, while this one's in a baggie, that's just the packaging that my daughter left in it so that she knew what symbol it was. Because quite often whenever we're doing special ones, we don't tend to kit them up as an individual thing. We just tend to either work straight out of that packet or just, you know, pop them into fresh little packets, because they're a lot smaller projects and they're a lot quicker to do. So we either work out the ones they come in, or we just put them in their own little baggies. Okay, so that's another blue done. This one I've got a few. So, even though they're very, very similar, and the blues, a few of the blues tend to be mixed up a little bit in sizes, as long as they are round, then the sizes might be mixed up a little bit. But as you saw by my pile, there is so many blue ones. Oh, that's all rubbish anyway. There's just so many of them that quite a few of these bags, you know, that's still a decent size amount of spare diamonds, even though it's got ones mixed in. It's just, you know, they have a hint of this and a hint of that, and okay, get still some left in the packet in that one. Let's get them all out. And while this was the same painting originally in 3 different sizes, this colour still matches these the best, so I am going to put them all together. Because to me that still looks like the nice selection. In fact, it's a very pretty selection of blues. Pretty. Okay. Medium blue. And then we've got more of a turquoise blue, which I see more of a blue than a green, but it's a mixture of the two. So I'm going to end up with a load of my baggies back now. I always go through loads when I do special projects, and then as soon as I de-kit them all and put them all away, all of a sudden my bag supply is full again. Okay, one more blue to go. That's the original bag. Too many other bits of bags. it would be easier, do you know, to use a big tray and then tip them in. Let's give that a go. Because these are all the round ones, so I'm not fighting with different shapes. But I'm not having to fight with tipping them into bag because I'm tipping them into a flatter tray. And my battery's going on my camera again. I've got a few videos done today. Let's see if I can get these away. There we go. That was easier. Okay, so that's the blues done. I'm going to change my camera and then we'll get on to the next one. Okay, battery's changed. What's next? Yellow. Okay, so for yellow, I do have an AB as well. So that is where they live rather than having their own DMC number. And then I have different shapes. I have a pale yellow and a yellow, and then I have gold. So I've still only got sort of 3 in this. So we've got yellow, gold, pale, I'd say, no, that can go in pale. Different shapes, yellow, gold, and that can actually go in with gold. I'm not creating a whole new bag for that. So let's do this little specials one first, because there is only one little lonely one of it. So let's get those in. And then let's just tip these into that tray. I think this is working out the better way to do it. It's working out a little bit easier. And I'm less likely to make a mess when I tip them into the bags as well. She says, I can still make a mess. At least I'm cleaning up after myself. And I will, after this video, sort out the aftermath of the bags that are all tucked to the side. But that's gold. Then we have a couple of paler yellows. There's just so many different variants already in DMC numbers that I just feel if I split up all the variants in the special shapes as well, and with them not having a reference, so they don't have, you know, a DMC number or something, I would just spend my life matching up diamonds. So this is just easier for me. And if I ever need them for a project, I'm likely to tip them out into a big tray anyway. So I can tip them out into a big tray and then figure out which ones I want if they're slightly different shades. Loads easier. This one's getting a very full bag as well, actually. It's amazing how many this yellow appears in. Okay, so that's the yellows. Then I have green. How many greens do I have? My colours aren't in any sort of order. I have far too many actually, but that is my different size shapes. Then I have sort of a lime green, a bluey green and a pale green, but I think both of those are a normal green, or a dark green should I say. So at least I've not got too many in the kits or the things that I've recently done. So we'll get these tipped into the same one. It may be that a couple of those bags in greens mixed together, but at whatever time I mixed up the bags in the special diamonds, I must have decided that I needed that many greens. But I did it when I did the blues. I combined a lot. And then I actually, on another pass, I combined a lot more as well. Orange, I have 2 ABs. So I have 2 AB colours, but then otherwise I have orange, specials and brown. So different shape, different shape, different shape, 2 oranges and a brown. So I've actually got all that I need to do in this one. So we'll tip the oranges in first. There isn't any in there, that's good. I've got 2 different size baggies that I need to sort of split up as well. Because they are one's a set that my daughter bought and one's the ones that I use for my spare storage. We tend to use both for holding the special diamonds until they're put into storage. For the special shaped ones, I'm just going to tip those straight in because, as I say, they do tend to get stuck in the tray, or they can. Some do, some don't. It really depends on the size. But it's not worth fighting with. It takes a little bit longer, but it's okay. It's all good. So we'll bob those in, just squeezing out any air, just so that they don't take up any more space than they have to. And then I have 1 lot of browns. So let's see if we can do a straight dump. Is it in? It's in. And I'm just trying to make sure that the card sort of tucks further back. It allows me to flatten and squeeze out the air, and then they stand up a little bit better. Okay, and then last but not least, we have white. So for white, I have 2 ABs. One is round and one is square, because it's quite a popular AB colour if you get a diamond painting with ABs in it. And then I have ones that are a different shape. Okay, and then I have ones that are rounded and pearlised, and then ones that are more like they're AB, but they've not been labelled AB. So they've not actually come from a diamond painting company that uses AB. So that's how my whites are split. So they're both specials. That's definitely pearly, and that's bigger. Okay, so the ones that look like AB but aren't labelled it have gone away. And they probably are AB ones. But of course, because they've come with a special painting or a project that uses rhinestones, they've not been labelled as such. I may end up mixing them together, but for now, and you can mainly tell the difference between those is these pearl ones tend to be rounded, so they don't have, you know, the crisscross that you have on a diamond, on one of the normal diamonds, whereas the AB ones tend to have that crisscross effect. What's it called? Somebody will bob it in the comments below. When they're like cut, it's called like the diamond cut. I know it's got a name for it, and I can't think what it is. Is it facets? No. Oh, I don't know. My brain's not working. It's getting late. I think I need to find a sit-down project. I should have sat down for this, but I think I need to find a sit-down project. And yeah, that is my whites away. So finally, after sitting on my desk for far too long, the latest diamonds from my special project are away. When this starts getting, you know, that it can support itself, I'll probably just mix in these scrapbooking diamond ones, but for now they just sit there. And that's it. But yeah, that is my special diamonds done. So thank you for joining me while I dekit from those projects. It's taken me a little bit, but at least it's done now. I'm going to go and tidy away these bags. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.